Kevinisomoto says welcome to the vlog.
Year 13, week number 662. Going over to the fabric store because I want to make a green screen this week for a photo video project that I have an idea for. And it would just be a lot easier if I just had like a solid seamless screen to just key it out. And so I don't have anything like that, so I'm gonna go and buy just a giant piece of like a green piece of green fabric that I can just like post up on the wall and then take the photo video in front of. Okay, we need to get something kind of like this roll, except I think this is kind of like slight shine to it, and you want it to be like as flat as possible. So I don't think this one's gonna be good, but something like similar to this color right here. I bought the fabric. That store that we went to, they have like the best selection of just everything that you could possibly want. I decided to get the fabric because it's cheaper for me to buy just like a couple of yards of the green, and then versus like buying a legit green screen from somewhere, because it's just like kind of all I really need is the fabric, because then I can just like post it up on a wall. But when you buy it officially, it's like you get like a stand and all this extra stuff that you don't really need. So this is the green screen fabric that we ended up going with. This is like maybe 7 feet by 5 feet approximately. And I think this is gonna be perfect because when I need to use it, all I need to do is like, let's say I'm shooting over in this corner of the room. I just take it and it's just temporary. So I just mount it up on the wall with like tape or some sort of brackets. That piece of fabric there is probably about a third of the price of what I would have paid if I bought an actual green screen. A few weeks back, I was talking about how there is a project that I'm working on that's like, basically I wanted to try to like make it look like buildings were bending, right? And so I was kind of going through the process of how you take like a photograph of a building, and then in Photoshop, first you just cut out sections of the building, and then in video editing, you can basically, over the course of several frames, you can stack layers of the building on top of each other and slowly move them so that when you watch it in real time, it makes it look like the building can be like bending and like shifting and whatever through time. And that was kind of the idea of like how I wanted to make the video, or like how I wanted to make it look like these buildings were bending. But I tried doing that and it was like way more difficult than I thought it was gonna be, like what I was imagining. So, but I did find another method for going about doing this, and basically in After Effects, there's a very easy way to do it with a bend effect, which I didn't know about. But basically you can take an object and you set different points for like where you want it to anchor, and anything in between, you can like bend it. And so it's like much easier. It's basically essentially what I was trying to do the first time around, but it's just so much easier when you have an actual dedicated effect for the thing that you're trying to achieve. And so now the problem that I've been spending time working on the past few weeks is like trying to manipulate the effect so that I understand how to like make an object move from like point A to point B, and then I also understand how to bend it. But like for the longest time, I was trying to figure out how to simultaneously bend it while making the object move in the same path that the bend is going. And that's what was like very difficult for me to figure out. So I'm actually very, very close to finishing. I'm very close to finishing the project. I think the hardest part was just figuring out like how to do the whole motion thing, right? Like the bending an object plus having it move along the curve of the path at the same time. That was like the most challenging part. But now that I've like at least figured it out, I think from here it's like just kind of taking the time to actually make it now. This will be 27 seconds total. Right now I probably finished about 19 seconds of the 27 seconds. So we're about like 2/3 of the way finished with it. I did finish the video, came out to 27 seconds. I posted it on my Instagram. And if you listen, there is background sound effects that I recorded for this thing. You know, you have this building that's inflating, and so I paired it with the sound of a balloon. I bought these from Party City in New York. And so what I did is I edited the whole video, and then I separately recorded myself inflating the balloon, just like isolated that sound effect, and then I paired the two together and kind of like, some of them you had to like artificially stretch out the sound or cut it down to like perfectly sync up with the video. But that's how I achieved this kind of fake balloon inflating, deflating sound effect thing. And what's cool about this video is you can technically play this indefinitely because it's like a perfectly looping video. So unless you're really looking carefully for it, you don't really see where the cut happens. Next week, I'm going to be figuring out the green screen photo and taking that at some point in the next few days. Thanks for watching this week's video. It's been year 13, week number 662. Next week will be week 663.